Hey, I'm Sheena Shuey. I'm a registered social worker and host of the 4Q podcast. I'm passionate about normalising, not pathologising life, and that's not easy. So each episode, I have amazing guests on to share the messy, beautiful ups and downs of life in 4 key questions with tips and tricks along the way. There are moments in life where you can embrace your story and understand that it's okay not to feel okay sometimes. So let's get into it. This is the 4Q podcast. All right, let's jump into today's episode. We are reflecting on 3 ways to tune into your intuition and figure out what you really want. So I am currently on a social media break with my business account and taking some time to, just reflect and realign for myself. And so today's episode, I want to offer you 3 ways that you can do this without having to jet off to Bali or go on a major holiday, because the reality is a lot of us either don't have time to do that, we're restricted by COVID, or whatever. There's lots of limitations at the moment as to why we can't just jet away and find ourselves. So let's get to the redefine around this. So getting in touch with your intuition and figuring out what you really want. So often I've heard over the last year where travel's been quite restricted, a lot of people have said to me in counselling or in coaching, Sheena, I just feel like I want to take a holiday because I know that whenever I'm on holiday, I have like epiphanies, or I get clear about what I want, or, I just feel so refreshed after. I feel attuned. I feel like I know what I want, even after a week. And that's significant. So the reality is, though, the thing about holidays is that it's actually just taking a break from your own life. So that is where the epiphanies happen. That is where you get clarity about a situation, when you can step out of it. Much like in business, if you're in it all the time, it's hard to see the forest from the trees. You have to step out of it to get clarity around it. We'd have to do that with our lives sometimes, but it doesn't always have to be as drastic as a holiday. There are many other ways to tune into yourself on a daily basis, but here are some. I want to talk about 3 sort of somewhat drastic ways that aren't sort of little minute moments in your day to tune into yourself and to take that break from your life. So let's get to the redesign. What is the nitty-gritty? What are the 3 ways that you can do this? So the 3 ways that you can tune into your intuition and get clear about what you want in life, get clear about what you're working towards, or what your heart truly desires, what, that situation where you've been humming and hawing and you don't know. Okay, so 1 is taking a social media break. Now, when I say social media break, I truly mean, if you want to do this properly, switching off all social media. No Pinterest, no Instagram, no Facebook. I usually recommend to people, if they need to keep in contact via Messenger, great. If not, can you tell your significant people, hey, just for the next week or 2 or month even, can you please just text and phone me? That is an amazing way, because you don't realize how much social media has a hold of you, the mindless scrolling. When you actually just look up and look around at the world around you, you get epiphanies all the time. I went without social media for a year before I relaunched Savasana Collective in 2020. And so either 2018 or 2019, I went a year without social media. And one of the strangest things was going to cafes or waiting rooms and not mindlessly scrolling. It was like that was the norm. And it would, I felt like people thought that I was a bit of the strange one for just sitting there with a book or just sitting there sort of on a bench. I don't know if you've ever noticed, but if you go to a park, a lot of people who are from the older generations who appreciate this, who didn't grow up with a lot of the technologies that we have, they will just sit there on a bench, not even with a book sometimes, just watching the world, watching, listening, slowing down. When was the last time you did that? Publicly, with intuition, without the urge to scroll, without the urge to act busy. It's definitely a huge thing to do that. And then also, something that we don't realize often with social media is we're addicted to the news in that way. So we often are influenced by all the articles we're reading, all the things our friends are sharing. So to not have that for, a month, if you can do it, is so empowering. And I definitely would encourage you to try it if you can. So that's one way. Another way to get that epiphany that you would get from a holiday, for example, is literally just taking time off work if you can afford it. You might not be able to go away, but you are able to just rest, do the things you feel like doing, watch a movie, chill out, organize your house. Sometimes we've got all these things we keep putting off, and we know we're going to feel better once we do it. And sometimes it's just having a staycation. The power of a staycation, or the power of just taking time off work for a little bit, is huge. So if you can find a way to make that happen or do it, and again, it doesn't have to be a month, it can even be a week, but just with the intention of just chilling out, because that's when people often think, I have to go to an ayahuasca ceremony, or I have to go to a cacao ceremony, or I have to have these like religious, epiphanies. And sometimes the epiphanies happen when you can step outside of your life and actually take the subjectivity out of looking at it. So taking the rose-colored glasses off and looking objectively, at your own life is huge. So again, we've covered social media break and taking a break off work. The other way is to take a break from socializing if you can. I know this is a bit harder with the extroverts we have out there. Introverts are like, this is a walk in the park. But again, it's that disconnecting from all the obligations that we have. So many of us feel obligated to see grandparents, or to see parents, or to see aunties or uncles, or, we have a lot of social obligations. And we're so connected with our friends and family often that we forget who we are without our social connections. So taking a break from social connections just for a month can be huge, because then not only you'll realize that you're craving that perhaps at the end, when I've done this with people, by the end of the month, they're like, I was really wanting to talk to this person and I was so surprised by that. Or, you realize who you want in your life, but you also realize who's a drain in your life. Like some people will say, look, it was such a relief not having to talk to my dad this month, or it was such a relief not having to force myself to go to my mum's house or my mother-in-law's house this month. It was so nice to just have that off my plate. And that, again, it gives you an objective view to go, actually, this relationship really sucks my energy out of me, or this relationship actually boosts my energy. Like if you're craving certain friends that you haven't been able to talk to or see, maybe that's a sign they boost your energy. So one of our activities that we have in our free resource library is exactly this: energy in, energy out. You literally map out who are the people that suck your energy and who are the people that give you energy, because so often we give and give and give and then wonder why we're burnt out, wonder why we're exhausted, wonder why there's nothing left in the tank. And so you need to replenish that energy. So taking a break from socializing, you can ask yourself after that month, okay, I realize that my mother-in-law is draining, but I can't cut her out of my life. How can I see her in a way that's boundaried, like once a month for 3 hours or twice a month for 2 hours each, and no more than that? Set some clear boundaries. Make sure you have some debrief time or, something around that. And then noticing the ones that lift you and going, I love this friend, but I don't see him as often as I would like. How can I make the time for this person? So, as a recap on what we just spoke about, so the 3 ways that you can redesign your life to have those epiphany moments, tune into your intuition and make good decisions to tap in about what does your heart, your mind, your soul want. One is disconnecting from social media, and I would encourage you to disconnect from news if you can as well during that time. The other is disconnecting from work, and the other one is disconnecting from socializing. So let's get to the realign of how can I keep this going if you do intend to do this? Well, again, just reflecting on what worked, what didn't during that month, what did you learn from it, and holding on to that. What did I learn from it, and how will I not forget this? Really making sure in the month that you had social media off, what did you learn? How can I make sure I keep that going? So whether it's that you learn that, hey, I can actually go out and not look at my phone and it feels amazing, or I can go to a sunset or sunrise and not feel the need to take photos to post on social media, like actually enjoying that. How can I keep that going? Again, disconnecting from work and then going back in, reflecting on what parts of work do I love and do I not love? Is this a career that I want? Do I want to do something else? Do I have other passions? And really finding the space to tune into yourself in that time and asking yourself how much work takes your energy and if it's worth it. Do you need to be working 40 hours? Can you work 3 days a week? What other passions do you have? And then in terms of socializing, who lifts your energy? Who sucks your energy? Who do you need to invest more time in? And who do you need to invest less time in moving forward? So I hope this is a really sort of insightful and helpful episode for you today. And if you want to connect with me, as I mentioned, I myself am taking a bit of a business and social media break at the moment. You can still connect via email or phone, so please feel free to do that. But yes, I love that you've tuned into this episode. Next episode is going to be our 6-month one. So if you want to connect with me and tell me, what do you want me to talk about? Is there an episode that you need me to cover for you? Please let me know. I would love to serve you in that way. I would love to cover a topic that you're curious about or you want some tips on. So thank you so much for listening. Having you here and having you follow this journey just means the world to me, and you as an audience. I cannot wait to lift you up and see what you're capable of, because I see it every single day with the women that I work with. So I cannot wait to see what you can achieve too. All right, have a wonderful day, and I will see you next week. Bye.